In today's education news, it's time to think about school holidays, says the chief of Ofsted, as he supports extending term times. First thing to say here is I don't think it's the head of Ofsted's job to be dictating policy. That is for the DfE to decide, but this may well be his opinion, but let's see what he says. Well, he's called for a rethink over the length of school holidays and warned that longer summer breaks can cause dysregulation in some pupils. He said in English state schools there are 195 days that schools have to be open. 5 of these are for teacher inset days and 190 actually educating children, child facing. 190 days of children going in out of 365. I think the question should be, is that long enough? And I think the question I'd ask is, do you expect kids to come in on the weekends, pal? I know because of Ofsted's inspection framework, it's meant workload's gone through the roof, so maybe he does think teachers should be working 365 days. It would actually be 190 days out of 260, which I don't think is actually too bad. As far as I'm aware, the sort of 6-week summer holiday has been round for well over a century, and even when I was at school, there was never these questions about changing it. It was just accepted, and people just worked around it. You know, if the problems with the holidays lie with a lack of childcare and holiday hunger, wouldn't it be some sort of revolutionary idea? I don't know if we just sorted that out, if we made sure that childcare was easily accessible, parents could afford it, and we didn't have record numbers of children in poverty, so that it wouldn't then be another thing that schools have to solve when schools don't have 2 pennies to rub together themselves. I just can't help but think that if we were to actually invest in young people in this country, if we were actually to provide things like youth clubs and support groups and parenting support, and, you know, there was lots of activities going on that was affordable for families to access during the holidays, like there were when we were younger. You know, going out with your kids now for a day out costs an absolute arm and a leg. And, you know, maybe we look at working conditions in different industries so parents have the flexibility to take time off to spend quality time with their own children. Because I've said this before, it almost feels like now for you to be a parent, you have to work more hours than you've ever worked before in whatever job you're doing. And as soon as you're not pulling your weight in that job, you get replaced with someone who does. So actually, for you to be a good parent and provide for your children, you end up spending less time with your children. I actually think it'd be better to try and address those problems. And obviously, like I've said, let's actually invest so we don't have a record number of children living in poverty, so that holiday hunger isn't even an issue. But no, what we'll do is we'll say, right, schools, sort this problem out again, will you? Like you have to do with everything else. We won't give you any extra support or help. We'll just expect you to take on more with less because, you know, you're in it for the kids. Where's my worry with this is that if we do extend the term times, I just see it as another reason forcing more and more teachers to leave the profession. I think if you were to ask a lot of teachers, one of the very few perks is that summer break and the breaks throughout the year, which in some ways have almost allowed teachers to take on more workload, because it's like, listen, you get all those holidays, what you're moaning about. To take them away is not going to then make teachers' jobs easier. That's never been something that Ofsted really care about, is it? Teacher well-being.